Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. I'm the host and creator, Ty Hudson. Hope you're doing well. Arkansas going to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Bulldogs with that air raid offense off to a pretty good start. They beat the LSU Tigers. What a game for them. Quarterback breaking records. Mississippi State looks like they could be pretty tough this year. So Arkansas up next. Another ranked opponent for the Hogs to deal with. Yay. Good times. We're going to try and break that game down just a little bit, scratch the surface. But before we do, if you guys would, at the end of the video, like, comment, share the content that you just watched. And, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button down below. And check out all the links down in the description box provided for you down below as well. All right, Woo Pig, let's get into this thing.
Well, the Leach air raid offense is now in the SEC, and it has already claimed its first victim, the defending national champs themselves, the LSU Tigers. Yes, that's the who the hell still plays for these guys, LSU Tigers. What obviously jumps off the page is the record-setting 600-plus passing yards and 5 touchdowns thrown by transfer quarterback KJ Costello, and that against DBU. Maybe that's DB Pew the rest of the year for the Tigers. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, Mississippi State wants to be taken serious right out the gate, year one in the Leach era. Not to mention, who would have thought anybody would throw the ball 60 times in a single game in this league? And doing that while only handing the ball off to an all-SEC caliber running back in Kylan Hill only 7 times, who ended up with just north of about 30 yards rushing, but 158 yards receiving. Does that help or hinder Hill's draft status? That's the question I have for the Mississippi State Bulldogs and Kylan Hill. Let's not forget they also have Jaquavius Marks in their rotation as well back there. In this game, they had 3 wideouts with at least 100 yards receiving. Osiris Mitchell had 7 grabs for 183 yards and 2 scores. Let's be real here. The offensive play calling for Mississippi State is like playing NCAA football on your PlayStation 3. Going 4 or 5 wide, every other snap, hot routing your wide receivers from hitch to slant and crossing routes, and kicking the tires and lighting the fires, racking up a ridiculous amount of yards through the air, and scoring, 5, 6, 7, or even 8 times before subbing in your backups. That's kind of what Leach likes to do. It's like playing backyard football or flag football, 7-on-7, whatever you want to call it. That's what this is. One of the biggest issues that Leach will face, especially in the SEC, are against teams, that have star power and they have depth in the secondary. They can go 4 quarters. A lot of teams in the SEC, they can do that. They can go 4 quarters with a air raid offense and force you to actually run the ball. Well, luckily for them, like I mentioned earlier, their backfield it's impressive. But the biggest and the most glaring issue with Leach-coached teams is defense, or the lack thereof, rather. Many talking heads across sports media, they've predicted LSU to be pretty, meh on offense in 2020, and yet they scored 34 points and gained a total of 420-plus yards on offense against Mississippi State. So if those talking heads are right, if these folks are right, Mississippi State won't be stopping much of anybody in the SEC. But they did, on defense, manage to sack the LSU Tigers 7 times. They had 7 sacks on the quarterback. So who knows? Maybe the Dogs are better balanced than anybody could have anticipated. So switching over, what will the Hogs need to do to get the upset against the Bulldogs? For starters, manage pressure. Manage getting pressure with your 3 guys up front. They have to be able to push KJ Costello out of the pocket, lay some clean licks, no penalties there, disrupt, and you cannot afford to bring extra pressure from linebackers to defensive backs against Costello. He and that passing offense will pick your secondary apart. Learn to get comfortable playing mostly in zone coverage. The good news for the Hogs is they'll be getting some depth back this week, just in time for Mississippi State. I liked what I saw from the secondary last week against Georgia. I really did, for the most part. For at least 2.5 quarters, they were zeroing in on the ball carrier. Corners were breaking up passes. They also showed they can get to the quarterback. They forced turnovers last week. Again, that's against Georgia, a very well-coached Georgia football team. So they'll get those turnovers, and I think they'll do that this week against Mississippi State. You'll need more of that this weekend. Be aggressive when their skill guys have the ball. Knock the absolute snot out of them. Force drops just because they hear them footsteps coming, baby. Knock their heads off. Do this legally, of course. No targeting and no flags. None of that nonsense. Switching over to offense, I think the Hogs, they'll get into rhythm just a little bit here. And please, God, no double reverse plays on your own 12-yard line. I don't mind trick plays. I really don't. And that is more or less a part of Kendall Briles' arsenal. I get it. But let's be smarter next time. I really want to see also, I want to see Franks light that MSU secondary up. I want to see more of Trey Knox. The Hogs will need to get attention off the run game because last week, let's face it, their offensive line, I know it was Georgia, but they got zero push. You can do that if you have at least more than one wideout helping the run game out, allowing the passing game to open up a little bit. That'll open things up for Rakeem Boyd. And you're going to need, I think you start with Knox getting pressure off of Burks. You do that, holy cow, the passing game could take off. And that could be Knox. Woods did show some promise last week against Georgia. He showed some things, but Knox is that guy. He's a matchup problem because of his size for a lot of defenses, even in the SEC. So that's what you got this year. You got 9 more SEC games. Perfect opportunity here against Mississippi State for Knox and Burks and Boyd and Franks to show out. Let's build some confidence in the passing game this week. Fans want to see more out of Franks. Here's the opportunity. So now, predicting this game, it's tough. It's a tough one. Last week I said Georgia would win that game 35-10. Well, they won 37-10. This week, I think almost just about anything could happen. Really. I do like the Bulldogs to win this one. I've got them winning 46-20. The spread right now is currently at 18, and Mississippi State is favored by ESPN's FPI, their football power index at 75%. So we'll see. We'll see just how the Hogs handle the meme-dropping Pirate and his air raid offense, and you'll get to watch that on the SEC alternate channel at 6:30 p.m. So there you have it, guys. That's my quick little scratch-the-surface video on this game. Hope you liked it. Please remember to like, comment, share the content that you just watched across social media, however, wherever. That'd be great. Check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box. There's a PTN Patreon page if you want to join that. If you don't want to do that, there's also a PayPal. And check out all the Hog Talk podcast content. There's a link provided for that as well. So until the next video, whoop, Pig Suey, beat the Bulldogs, go Hogs.